Being on a cycle of working check to check can be the most frustrating thing and the most low energy draining thing to do in life. In order for us to break away from this cycle, we must be able to clear our minds, able to think so we can get out of this function of living check to check and we can be able to have a cushion and be free. So first, the way I like to do this is by thinking about my job I'm creating is my biggest tool for me to start creating wealth. I need to put some of money, no matter how much I make right now, if it's $500 a week, $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month, I need to find a way so I can use that tool to invest into the markets. Stay tuned to the video. I'm going to show you guys these top options that you should be paying attention to so you can stop working check to check and you can free up debt. Stay tuned. First thing off the rip, we have AMD. AMD is basically a CPU that's applied in our PCs and our laptops, and it's basically the brain or function of our computers. This is a huge one that's going to be involved whenever it comes to AI and the advancement of technology, and this is one that's going to lead us in the US in the AI race. And I like this stock because it's been on a huge run. If we look at the past month, it's already up 22%, $30, and every dollar I talk about, guys, think about incrementing in 100. So 30 times 100 is 3,000. This is the thing about options, and this is what options are. Is going to help you get away from being check to check. It involves more risk, but trust me, once you master it and you put enough capital in order for you to ride out this whole move, like we see AMD. I mean, imagine if you would have been in AMD at $109, or it's already at $166. So that's almost like a $50 move right there. And we continue riding out this move, we're gonna go past $200, $210, $227 in the next few months, 6 months, with interest rates dropping, and that's gonna boost this stock price. So first thing I need you guys to do is go ahead and hit trade and hit options, and then boom, I want you guys to make sure you get enough return for you to stop living check to check, and you're able to have a good cushion for you to be able to have a nice sustainable life and feed your family, but also consider your risk while doing this. So look at the dates at 2026. Whenever it comes to options, you always don't want to feel like you're gambling. Whenever it comes to options, you can lose your whole initial investment, and then you'll be able to make a high reward at the same time. So if you invested $2,000, the risk is you can lose your $2,000 within that date. So the thing about options between stocks is you have an expiration date. This expiration date expires on the date that you select. So we want to go somewhere in 2026, just in case we have a downturn in the markets or the plane doesn't go against us. Always think of risk first before you think reward. So March 2026 is a perfect date for us. And as we see these contracts right here, they have 23.65, and you just multiply that times 100, which is basically $2,365 for a $165 call. And I promise you, this one is a great option right here, just because as we see AMD been on this huge uptrend, you always want to buy the dip with AMD. These past few months, I've been doing historic data on every time AMD drops between 8 to 5%, it always rebounds. And AMD right now is dropped between that 5%. So people are buying the dip, and they're gonna write this out so they can start riding this trend to $200. And if you can get this call for $2,300, or even get one higher, if you don't have enough $2,300 to invest right now, you can get a out the money contract. An out the money contract is gonna be way less than the in the money, just because you got a higher strike price. So in order for you to have a good reward, you have to have a price above the strike price. So this strike price is $210. In order for you to profit real well, AMD has to shoot past the price $210 in the stock market. Compared to you get a strike price of $165, AMD would have to surpass the price of $165, which is almost already at right now. Price is already at $166. So therefore, it's easier for you to start profiting because the stock price is currently at that price right now in the market. And in order for it to keep going up and break past even 180, you already been made about $2,000 every dollar that it went up. And it went up $20, 20 times 100. For option, you get 100 shares for one contract. So if the stock price goes up $1, then you'll be up $100 with your option. If the stock goes down $1, your option would be down $100. If the stock price goes from 165 and it shoots up to $200, and you bought a 165 call that expired March 20. 165 minus 200 would be about $35, and you'll be profiting every $100 that it went up. So 35 times 100 would be 3,500. And guys, this is the biggest tool that I use right now, because I have a way to analyze the stock price and pay attention to market trends and use volume and market cap and technical analysis and fundamentals to make educated investments, so I can make enough capital to free up debt, or not having to feel like I have to be on a schedule of working a 9 to 5 and I can't take off to feed my family. It just creates way more opportunities. It creates leverage for my income. So if I end up budgeting for the month and I can save about $1,000 and I continue doing it for the next 3 months, I can build up investment. So now I can invest into options, but not risky options. I love options that allow me to have more time. In case AMD doesn't move towards $200 in the next 6 months, at least I have to the rest of more 2026 in order for it to happen. Even though it's most likely AMD will pass $200 this year, you always want to think about the what if not, the risk, the downside, all of that, guys. It's always going to be important for you guys to pay attention to the worst scenario. Don't think reward first. Yeah, the markets are at all-time highs. People are making the most capital in options right now. They're making the most money, and everybody's just eating. But you always still want to think risk as an intelligent investor, and always pay attention to options that are way ahead of now. Always think long-term than short-term. People who always play those weekly options, those people are basically just gambling, okay? That's because anything can happen in these few weeks, but you can always buy way more options with the weekly options. I'm not saying those are bad moves, but for someone that's just starting off in their self-academics, we like to ride the whole move. So if it price drops down to 160 now, and we got the rest of the move to 220, I don't want you guys to move that $60 move to that whole upside and not just get half of it for a few weeks, or maybe it's like a 10-5% gain in the short term for the week. And the week could always be volatile. Those are way more risky options. As you see, a weekly contract for August 15 is about $380. It's way less than those long leap options that expire in 2026, but they do involve more risk, even though they're less expensive. If you know what you're doing, you could play with these weekly options. Don't get me wrong. If we trade on the weekly time frame and see how these candlesticks are moving, we might see a perfect setup. It's always good if you know you have a high profitability setup to just go ahead and take those. You can't go wrong with a high probability setup, but again, you always got to pay attention to the risk, because you don't want to go into an investment and bet on your whole capital on one weekly investment. That's how you go back from being able to be in debt or going back check to check and just losing it all. You're losing your whole kingdom. So I suggest that you don't invest more than 5 to 10% of your portfolio in one trade or one option, guys. So don't get greedy with these options. You can take a look and you can play with them. Always pay attention to the market price though, and you pay attention to how the market price influences these stock option prices. So if you go ahead and click one of these options and then you hit like add to watch list, you can watch how these option prices are moving whenever the stock market is moving. So this is a great way to start practicing, guys, and this is a great tool for you to learn as early as possible. If you master this tool now, guys, you would not have to depend on ways that you can make some passive income or ways that you can make money in the next month. Okay, maybe something came up and you need $100,000 in medical bills, or you need $10,000 to get a new car. This tool right here will allow you to make money in a lump sum in any given time based off a nice financial asset tool that you use, so you can invest in the stock market and then you making money back. So it's just like a rinsing off your money, putting your money in the washing machine. I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you comment, subscribe, share with someone that you really want to see prosper in life. Other than that, we out.